So I first started probably when I was about 14, but just playing with friends. I never learned. I was talented at it in comparison to my friends, but it's hard to say if I was any good. But then I stopped until I was probably around 18 or 19, and then I deposited $15 and started playing $1 sit and goes. Won the first sit and go for like $45, so I was obviously hooked from then. And whilst I was doing my A-levels, I then started putting a lot of time aside for poker. And then in my gap year between A-levels and university, I said, okay, I'm going to get from my $1,000 bankroll to $100,000 within this year. And within half a year, I'd made, I don't know, 200 and something K. So that kind of got me into it. Three tips to be a great poker player. One, decide if you can actually be a good poker player. So one of the things I'm going to be doing on my site in the future, I'm not like trying to spread the word or anything yet, but I'm going to say, hey, if you're not up to this point by this amount of hands that you've been playing, you're probably not cut out to be a poker player, and that's going to be true for 90-something% of people. And if you're not interested in being a poker player, maybe we can interest you in this, like being a cryptocurrency trader, or maybe being a yoga instructor or something like that. So I'd say first, work out if you're talented enough and smart enough and logically good enough to be a good poker player. Secondly, meditate. This I will actually shout out to myself. I'm doing a meditation masterclass in about a month, and you can sign up on epiphany77.com. And I genuinely think that for the vast majority of poker players, and I've spent a lot of time speaking to like micro-stakes players, multi-stakes players, their biggest problems aren't like, okay, they're not check raising enough flops. It isn't like they're not finding the right bluff frequencies. It's they are tilting too much at the end of a session. If they lose a hand, they get down. They're not a monster. They don't want to be that predator that's taking everyone's money, which stops them from making plays, and they feel bad for people, stuff like that. And meditation, mindfulness, and just general psychological and spiritual work is something that I think can eliminate a large percentage of that for most people. 3, crap. I'll keep this one quick. Third, I would say would be obsessive. Like at the beginning of your career, if you genuinely want to be a poker player, be absolutely obsessive and speak hands with other people and play hands all the time. Think it, dream it, live it, eat it. Just work it. I don't like it when people have double standards about what's kosher and what isn't. So some people, they'll be sitting there in headphones, sunglasses, they won't say a single word. But then if I'm looking at them or at someone else for a live read, and I'm just like looking like this, and they'll be like, bro, that's bad for the game. What are you doing? The game's gonna die if people like you are just staring at people, makes people uncomfortable. And then they just go back to not saying a word for like 10 years or something. So that kind of logical inconsistency is kind of annoying for me. I try not to be annoyed too much though. Okay, I have to be honest because I don't lie. I think the best online poker player in the world is Linus Love. I believe if I had to place a bet on who has the highest EV in all the live tournaments, I would actually bet on myself. Not because I feel like I'm particularly overly talented at the game that I can outperform people without really trying. It's that I think that the edges that I get from live reads are significantly bigger than the edges other people get from theoretical workings, and I feel like I'm the best at live reads and applying that into the theory of the game out there. But I could definitely be wrong, and it's not something I would usually say without being asked.